Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the CruitCast. I'm Jason Sukamel, joined by Cole Patterson. As always, Cole, surprisingly active weekend for us last weekend. So we knew we were going to be busy, right, with
Yeah.
Texas hosting an elite camp and a pool party, but had a little bit more fireworks than we anticipated. So we're going to get to that stuff in a little bit. But before we do, let's plug our sponsor. You see them up there at the top. We love them. We love them because they sponsor Orange Bloods, but we love their product, man. Go get you some of that prime shrimp. Go to primeshrimp.com. Use that promo code OrangeBloods30. You get 30% off your order of 6 or more packages. Get 6 of one flavor, get 1 of each, however you want to do it. You'll love it. It's a money back guarantee if you don't love it, but you'll love it. Just trust us. Prime Shrimp at primeshrimp.com. Also, hey, do us a favor, of course, subscribe to this channel, like the video, get the notifications for the videos on the channel that we do here on our Orange Bloods YouTube channel. So, Cole, now that we've got some housekeeping out of the way, let's talk about last weekend. And I guess we'll start, as much as I love Reiner Swanson, and he was the only official visitor. Sorry, Reiner, dude, you're my dude, but I'm going to put you on the back burner for a minute. And we're going to talk about the commitment of KJ Lacey. And I know Ketch went on air right after KJ committed. And you and I were down on campus, so we couldn't really be a part of that. So you and I mean, yes, you and I talked about KJ Lacey, obviously, but we haven't talked about him on video. So there's a lot to kind of dig into. I talked to KJ on the phone on Monday. I think it was Monday, actually. Monday. You kind of were ahead of the curve on the commitment. So kind of take us back, man. And Saturday afternoon, word trickles out about KJ Lacey going to commit. Huge pickup for Texas. Your thoughts on Texas picking up a big quarterback commitment in the 2025 class?
Yeah. Like you said, he's a huge commitment for that class. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the 2025 class out of, the Mobile area in Alabama. Already has a state championship under his belt. I think we were talking when we kind of caught wind of the commitments going down. We're not comparing him to the player, so to speak, but he has a lot of Patrick Mahomes to his game, the way he plays, how he gets out of the pocket and throw for different arm angles and platforms and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you just turn on the tape and it's really hard not to get excited about him and how he would potentially fit with Steve Sarkisian in that offense. He himself, I believe, told you that Sarkisian kind of compared him to Bryce Young a little bit and kind of that kind of game and style and all of that. And, he's kind of built the same, as far as his stature goes, but he's a really good quarterback, obviously. Alabama wanted him, Auburn wanted him. His offer sheet speaks for itself. So for Texas to go in there and seal the deal, get him on campus again and be able to make him, commit with all those guys, all those top 2025 guys on campus around him was pretty significant.
Yeah. Hey, and for the record, everybody take note. Cole said KJ Lacey is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes. Okay, we want that on record, right? So,
he's ran a couple Super Bowls in.
There you go. Yeah, he's guaranteeing Super Bowl victories, and national championships. So, yeah, it is true though, Cole. You look at his film, and I talked to KJ, and I was like, the arm ankles and the release points, and just quick release when he needs to. And I was like, is that something you consciously work on? He goes, no, man, just like. He goes, I'm just going to throw it around or under you or whatever I need to do to get the ball where it needs to go. And he does a great job of it. It's funny. He is maybe a tad undersized by traditional standards, but we talked about that. I was like, everybody used to want Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, right? The 6'5" guys who can throw over the top. Nowadays, it's okay to have smaller guys like Bryce Young. Mahomes isn't the biggest guy in the world, but guys, and they do things with different arm angles and things like that. So, Bryce Young just went number 1 in the NFL draft. So if you're getting compared to Bryce Young, you're doing something right. I talked to Bryce Young back when Bryce was a commitment. Texas recruited him quite a bit. I talked to KJ Lacey on Monday, and I'm not comparing them necessarily to those two. I'm just saying they both were very personable guys. So is Malik Murphy and covered a lot of recruits over the years, but very personable, just kind of have a natural confidence and leadership. KJ Lacey does at a young age. He's only a sophomore, just finished his sophomore year of high school. I just think, man, it's a tremendous pickup for Texas. One of the best quarterbacks in the country. A lot of people say, but he's from the state of Alabama. What's going to happen when push comes to shove there? I don't know. There's a long way to go, but I'm telling you, from my conversation with KJ, he's pretty locked in, dude, and pretty happy with his choice. I mean, you'd expect that coming out of 48 hours after he announces his commitment. But he told me, he came in for the spring game, and he pretty much knew then he wanted to commit to Texas. But his parents weren't with him on that visit. He was with the 7-on-7 team. He went home and told his parents, hey, I love Texas. I love everything about it. I love the city. I love the campus, facilities, Coach Sark, Coach Milwee. And his parents were like, dude, if you love it, if you feel that strongly, then that's where you need to go. And I was like, I told him, I was like, that's a compliment to him that his parents are that trusting in him at a young age. And I said, it's a compliment to you too, that you've gained their trust. So his parents did come with him on this visit last weekend. They loved what they saw. His mind was pretty much made up before he ever arrived in Austin. He actually told Sark and Coach Milwee on Friday, hey, I'm going to go ahead and commit. Didn't announce it until Saturday afternoon. Cole, you got wind of it actually about an hour or so before. So we were pretty fortunate. We were prepared, ready to go, and had the story written and edit done and all that stuff as Cole bows out on me. But yeah, just a tremendous pickup. There you are, Cole. Tremendous pickup for Texas for that 2025 class. He's a guy that he's kind of infectious with his personality. He was already recruiting other receivers while he was on campus. His teammate's one of the top receivers or top players in the country. There was a receiver out of California, out of Mater Dei, who reached out to him right after he committed and was like, let's go. So, I mean, KJ Lacey is the type of kind of Pied Piper personality that could bring other recruits with him. So just a really, really good pickup for Texas to lead off that 2025.
I talked to Corey Watson, the 4-star receiver out of Shadow Creek down in Houston, and he told me that it caught his attention that, he was able to be around KJ during the day, and it caught his eye that Texas was able to get that guy a quarterback. I kind of asked him his thoughts on that, a little bit on that in the war room, but you can tell it definitely caught him and some other guys' attention that Texas was able to get their guy a quarterback. And, like you said, he's a personal guy. He's going to be able to recruit and, draw people to him. So that's huge for Texas to, build their 25 class with him, build around him, build their class around him and kind of see who they can pull, within Texas. Maybe they can get in the game with Ryan Williams and those national kind of receivers. But, getting him in the boat will definitely put them in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he told me he was talking on the visit. He was talking to DeCorey Moore and Taz Williams and some of those guys. Those guys were already drawn to him and talking to him, but I don't think they quite understood just how big of a prospect he is because, he's not Malik Murphy. He doesn't walk through the door. You're like, damn, who's this 6'6" guy that's just like you, Yeah. But I don't think they were already impressed with just his personality and his infectious personality. But I don't think they quite understood, hey, that's a really big commitment for Texas. So once they realize how big of a prospect he is, how good of a prospect he is, I think his recruiting pitch will carry even more weight. Cole, let's transition a little bit. Texas had one official visitor on campus last week. It was Reiner Swanson, the tight end out of Laguna Beach out in California. I talked to Reiner on Monday, I think it was, and he was pretty open. He goes, man, I'll be honest with you. He told me, he said, coming into that visit, BYU was probably the team to beat. He goes, man, Texas kind of has my vote right now. So, I mean, the Longhorns did everything right on that visit. Just a tremendous trip overall for Reiner. Time with the coaches, time around campus, his player host. Everybody did a great job hosting Reiner Swanson. Now, he does go to Oregon this weekend for an official visit. And then on Monday, he kind of changed his schedule. He is going to visit BYU on Monday, which is brand new. That wasn't supposed to happen until the fall. He's going to visit BYU on Monday. That way he can kind of have all those 3 visits out of the way and then try to make a decision later this summer. So right now I would put Texas at the top, but it's a slim margin of an advantage Texas has with Utah and BYU visits forthcoming. So you need to hope, if you're a Texas fan, maybe somehow, some way BYU doesn't blow him away to recapture that advantage. But, Texas did a great job with Reiner Swanson coming in last weekend. Did everything they could to kind of put themselves in a position to potentially win out. Cole, let's backtrack a little bit. Last Saturday, Texas had their elite camp. We talked about KJ Lacey. There was a lot of talent on campus last weekend. I need to pull up my list here of guys I talked to. let's just kind of talk about a few guys. Let's highlight a few guys. I know one guy that we both talked to, Duncanville wide receiver DeCorian Moore, number 10 on the Rivals 100. This is a 5-star type talent.
Mm-hmm.
When I talked to him, I'll be curious to hear what you said. Hey, loved everything about the visit. Really has a connection. Says it feels like home. His family's been down there to Texas with him a bunch. Told me he let me see. He's trying to get to Oregon, Ohio State, and USC this summer. And he said, I'll definitely be back at Texas. It's early there. There's going to be a lot of moving parts in that one. But again, I think Texas continues to put itself in a good spot, including that visit last weekend.
Yeah, I definitely think Texas has kind of asserted themselves as one of the teams to beat. LSU and Oklahoma, 2 teams to watch for him as well. But he really likes Texas. Like I said, we both talked to him. He was blown away, just being able to see the facilities again. He's already been on campus multiple times, but he likes the facilities. He kind of, brightened up when I asked him about putting on the uniform on for the photo shoot, and he really liked that. Texas is doing all the right things in that recruitment, obviously getting KJ Lacey as well. Already around him, being able to get in his ear definitely doesn't hurt. But like you said, DeCorian Moore is a 5-star kind of talent, elite player and one of the top guys in the state for that class.
Yeah, another receiver that came in, he's out of California, Jaden Robinson out of Long Beach Poly. Smaller guy, but more of a slot receiver, just electric with his speed and stuff. Talked to him afterwards. Great visit. He already had a Texas offer. Man, I don't know what to believe, Cole. I'm hearing some scuttlebutt there that Texas really put itself in a strong position for Jaden Robinson. Like things maybe could be in motion where, I'll just say Texas is in a really good spot. We'll see. I need to kind of kick the tires a little bit more. But he did tell me, he loved his meeting with Chris Jackson, the wide receiver coach. Loves Chris Jackson's experience of coaching and playing at the NFL. He said Texas is at the top of his list if he was to make one right now. So, Texas did a great job there with Jaden Robinson. Another guy I talked to, I'm looking at my notes here, Kamorian Morgan, the defensive end out of Red Oak. I talked to him about a month ago at the Rivals camp. Texas had just offered, and he was like, yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Texas, not sure what to expect. Well, he comes down, and Texas has a really good visit last weekend. Another one very early, he's not tipping his hand. He just said, hey, he's keeping an open mind. But I think Texas, laid a pretty good foundation there with Kamorian Morgan, to kind of build upon moving forward. Cole, a couple guys, I want you to kind of single out a couple guys you talked to. Anybody who stands out for you?
Yeah, I'll stick with Red Oak. Taz Williams, he made his first visit to Texas since getting that offer. Obviously one of the best receivers in his class, especially for the state. He didn't work out at all, but he did mention that he watched Chris Jackson, how he coaches and all of that. He said that relationship continues to grow. He mentioned they already talk on the phone a lot, so there wasn't a lot of it was already smooth when they kind of met in person and talked about the offer and all that kind of stuff. So he really enjoyed the visit. He's always been high on Texas, but getting that offer and getting to know Chris Jackson is definitely playing a big role in his recruitment. And then staying at wide receiver, talking about a guy that we both like, Andrew Marsh, is always down at Texas. Seems like every single time they have an event, that was more the same again this past weekend. Another guy that spoke well of KJ Lacey. He said he hung around Taz Williams, DeCorian Moore as well. All the top receivers in the state were seemingly on campus for that class. And he mentioned how they kind of have a competitive friendship. They all like each other, but obviously want to be better than one another as well. He likes Texas a lot. Him and Chris Jackson continue to build that relationship as well. I expect him to be back for a game. He kind of mentioned he's trying to figure out which game to go to, but we'll be back on campus again in the fall, if not sooner than that. Flipping over to the defensive side, Skyline linebacker Elijah Barnes, he was on campus. His first time ever down to Austin, or at least on the campus. I can't remember if he said he's been to Austin or not, but I know his first time to the Texas campus. He said he was blown away just by the size of the stadium, all the facilities. Left really impressed. He's seen his recruitment pick up a ton this spring. Alabama's offered him, Ohio State's offered him, but it seems like Texas made a huge impression. He thinks really highly of Coach Jeff Choate and really the whole Texas defensive staff. So he's another guy in the Metroplex that Texas is already gaining really good ground on, a guy that I expect Texas to be in the race for until the end.
Yeah, and there's still, we could go down the list. Michael Fasusi was there, Landon Rink. These are guys that Texas has prioritized for a while. Fasusi, I think it was like a second visit in a little more than a month. They ended up handing out a few new offers, and I think maybe one went out the day afterwards. There were some new offers that went out at the camp. You know, it was the 2025, 2026 guys that were in for that elite camp. It was more about just kind of laying the foundation, getting those guys in, getting some FaceTime with them, starting to build that relationship. It was funny, Cole. We had a live thread going on Orange Bloods that day, just putting any notes we saw or anything we saw on social media in there, right? And someone asked about commitments, and I was like, dude, I'd be shocked. I said, I'm not expecting any commitments at all. I'd be shocked if there were any. And of course, then they end up Texas ends up getting arguably the biggest commitment they've had in a while. And KJ Lacey, the Rivals 100 quarterback, commits.
Right there.
Yeah, so I went back on that thread and I quoted my own thing where I said, hey, I'm not expecting it. And I go, I think I might be eating my words. Got everybody excited and riled up a little bit. But
you did a cryptic tweet as well to get
I did. I was like, hey, oh boy, like, yes, little rascals tweet like, oh boy, hey, it might be a big day. But it's always fun, kind of just to get everybody riled up. And I love when I do that. And then people on Orange Bloods are like, give us the news. Who is the kid? Like, you really think I'm going to ruin this kid's moment? I mean, come on, dude. It's just not going to happen. I was like, you got to wait for an hour. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Just know that you need to be around your computer. But really good event put on by Texas. Really good turnout. And all the guys, I mean, unanimously, all the guys we talked to were blown away. So I think Texas put themselves in a great spot with a lot of these elite 2025s. Now they just got to start closing on some of these 2024s. We'll be in town, not this coming weekend, but the weekend of the 16th and the 23rd. Huge recruiting numbers coming in for Texas. So we got a lot going on this month. We've talked about it, a lot to talk about. You and I have put out some stories on players that were at that elite camp. We'll continue to put out stories of guys who were at that elite camp. We're going to have a lot of information in the War Room on orangebloods.com tonight. So I encourage everybody, go over to Orange Bloods. If you're not signed up already, first off, shame on you. Get signed up because we got a lot of content there and even more coming. So with that, encourage everybody to keep it on the War Room. We'll have more depth on a lot of these stories and some new updates in there as well. This is the CruitCast. I'm Jason Sukamel. That's Cole Patterson. Blake Skaggs is our man behind the scenes who produces it and gets it out there for us and makes us look let's say look good, but look tolerable. Makes Cole and myself look tolerable, if you will. But Prime Shrimp is our sponsor. You see them at the top. Go to primeshrimp.com. Load up your freezer on that delicious restaurant quality shrimp. And subscribe to this channel. Like the video. Do those things that help us grow the channel. Thanks, everybody, once again, for giving us some of your time. We'll be back next week. I'm not sure if Cole will be on the video next week, or it might just be me. Might be me and Ketch. Might be Cole again. We got some moving parts on this thing that we need to figure out. But regardless, we'll be back soon with another video. Thanks for everybody for giving us your time. Cole, just in case you're not back next week, give everybody a wave and sign off, man. All right, man. Cole's still brokenhearted, by the way, because Miami Heat got stomped last night.
Yeah, I'm not doing so well. I might have to order some prime shrimp.
There you go. Yeah, take the frustration out on that prime shrimp. I'll be honest, Miami won game 2, and I was a little shocked they even got one of those games. I think Denver's just a fantastic team.
They're good. Hopefully you game 4.
Yeah. Hey, when Denver's on, dude, they're tough to beat. They're on quite a bit lately. So, all right. Well, I know people didn't come to hear our NBA talk. So, hey, thanks again, everybody. Have a great week and a great weekend, and we will see you next week.